Hey guys, today we're diving into something deeply important. 5 medical conditions that, after the age of 75, you should be watching every single month. Picture this. You wake up one morning, and as you swing your legs over the side of the bed, something feels off. Not painful, not alarming, just different. Your chest feels a little tight, or maybe your pulse seems to flutter a little too fast, then slow again. You brush it off. Probably just tired, you think. But what if that tiny whisper from your heart is actually the very first nudge of something bigger? Have you ever felt like your energy is draining faster than it used to? Like a simple walk to the mailbox feels just a touch longer, just a bit heavier. This isn't just getting older. Sometimes it's your body trying to speak to you before shouting. That's why today we're going to talk about what to monitor every month. Not once a year, not when something feels seriously wrong, but regularly. Because prevention, now more than ever, is power. Let's start with your heart, the quiet engine that keeps everything running. After 75, your heart isn't just aging, it's adapting to decades of work. You might not feel pain, but little shifts in your pulse, your blood pressure, or even how lightheaded you get when standing up. These can mean everything. Each morning as you shuffle to the bathroom, you might feel your heart thud harder than usual, or slower. You might feel a little dizzy bending down to pick something up. Those tiny changes, they're worth noticing, because after 75, your risk of heart-related conditions like arrhythmias, heart failure, or even silent heart attacks increases dramatically. But the signs don't always announce themselves, so you check. Monthly, like brushing your teeth, a digital blood pressure cuff at home. Easy to use, and these days they can even talk to you. Sit quietly, feet flat, arm rested. Let it measure. Not just once. Do it 2 or 3 times a few minutes apart. Write it down. Watch for patterns, not perfection. Let's say your normal pressure is around 130/80, but this month it creeps to 145/90. Then next month, 150/92. You feel fine, so you ignore it. But now you've missed the chance to catch rising blood pressure early, a slow-burning fuse that leads to strokes, kidney issues, or heart strain. Or imagine your resting heart rate, normally a calm 70 beats per minute, suddenly jumps to 90, then flutters irregularly. That little flutter might be atrial fibrillation, a condition that, left untreated, can quietly raise your risk of stroke 5-fold. It often feels like nothing, just a skipped beat, just a little tiredness. But when you know your baseline, you know when something's not right. There's also orthostatic hypotension. That's the fancy name for when your pressure drops too much when you stand. You stand up and feel dizzy or even stumble. That's your heart and vessels not adjusting fast enough. Could be dehydration or a medication side effect, or a deeper cardiovascular issue. But you won't know unless you check, and check regularly. Think of your monthly check-in like chatting with an old friend. How are you today? You ask your heart. Any surprises? And if it answers in numbers that are creeping up or dipping low, you take note. You talk to your doctor, not in panic, but with knowledge. Hey, I've noticed my pressure's been higher for 3 months now. That's how you stay ahead. You don't need to be a doctor to do this. A notebook, a pen, or even your phone can help you track. There are free apps too, many of them with large fonts and voice reminders. Some even connect directly to your blood pressure monitor. Simpler than you'd think, and more powerful than you can imagine. Now you might wonder, what about the days when you're feeling perfectly fine? Do you really still need to check? The answer is yes, and here's why. Many serious heart conditions have what's called a silent phase. No pain, no clear warning, until a sudden event. The way to stop that is by being gently, consistently aware of the early ripples. It's also not just about the numbers, it's about the feeling. After your check, sit quietly and tune in. Is your chest feeling heavy? Are you more winded going upstairs? Are you more tired doing something as simple as watering your plants? If so, that's your sign to check more carefully. Let's take a real-world example. Margaret, 78, used to go on a daily 20-minute walk. She noticed she needed to rest halfway through. Just age, she thought. but she'd also seen her blood pressure slowly rising and her heart rate bouncing more. She wrote it all down. When she showed her doctor, they caught early-stage heart failure. With meds and lifestyle tweaks, she's now walking her 20 minutes again. No rest. Monthly heart monitoring isn't about fear. It's about friendship with your own body. You don't need to know what each number means. You just need to notice when something's shifting. The goal isn't perfection, it's awareness. So tomorrow morning, or even right now, find that blood pressure cuff. Dust it off, plug it in, sit calmly, breathe, let the numbers speak to you. This little ritual, once a month, could change everything. You're not being dramatic. You're being wise, and that wisdom, at this stage of life, is your most powerful medicine. You open the fridge and reach for something sweet. Just a small spoon of jam on toast, or a cookie to go with your afternoon tea. It feels harmless, but somewhere, just beneath the surface, your body might be struggling to process that sugar. And the strange thing? You wouldn't feel it. Not at first. That's the stealth of diabetes. It doesn't knock on the door loudly. It slips in, unnoticed, and stays quietly destructive for years if you don't watch for it. After 75, your risk for developing type 2 diabetes or worsening existing blood sugar issues increases. Why? Because your pancreas, which helps manage sugar through insulin, doesn't work as quickly anymore. Your cells become a little less responsive. Even if you've never had high blood sugar before, this is a time to be extra vigilant. And if you do have diabetes, those monthly check-ins can mean the difference between managing it well and suffering silent, avoidable complications. Think about it like this. Sugar builds up in your bloodstream. It travels, slowly damaging blood vessels in your eyes, kidneys, heart, and brain. But you don't feel that damage right away. You feel fine. Maybe a little more tired. Maybe your vision feels off. Maybe you're more thirsty than usual, but none of that feels urgent. So you skip the check. That's how it starts. Now imagine a habit. Once a month you check your blood sugar. First thing in the morning before you eat. A simple finger prick. Or if you're already diabetic, maybe you've got a continuous glucose monitor. Either way, you write it down. You're looking for numbers, but more than that, you're listening for patterns. Is your fasting blood sugar slowly rising? Is it above 126 milligrams per deciliter more than once? Are you spiking after meals? Let's say your fasting sugar this month is 115. That's not diabetes, but it's pre-diabetes. It's the yellow light before the red one. Catch it here, and you have power. You can walk more. You can adjust what you eat. You can talk to your doctor about it early, before medication, before complications, before you find out the hard way. Maybe you've noticed your feet feel numb sometimes, or you get up twice as often at night to pee, or a small cut takes longer to heal. Each one is a whisper from your body. High blood sugar thickens your blood and weakens circulation. It damages nerves. It dulls healing. It makes you more prone to infection and even leads to things as serious as blindness or kidney failure. But when you catch rising sugar early, these outcomes are not inevitable. There's a story I think of often. George, 81, hadn't seen a doctor in a while. He felt fine, but his daughter brought over a glucose meter and asked him to check. That morning, his sugar was 178. The next day, 190. He had no idea. "I feel perfectly normal," he said. But once he knew, he got help, changed his breakfast, took walks again. Today, his numbers are in the 100s and 20s, and he feels even better than when he thought he was fine. You don't need to prick your finger every day, though. Once a month, fasting blood sugar can be a good habit if you're not diabetic yet. If you are, then weekly or even daily checks might be what your doctor recommends. Either way, the point is the same. Don't rely on how you feel. Rely on what you know. Food plays a huge part here. After 75, your body doesn't metabolize carbs as quickly. So something that used to be a light snack, like a muffin or a banana, might now send your sugar soaring. And sugar highs aren't just dangerous long-term. In the short term, they make you tired, fuzzy-headed, and even more prone to falling. Do you find yourself crashing in the late afternoon or feeling oddly irritable before meals? That can be sugar swings. They're not just emotional, they're chemical. And monitoring helps you tie those feelings to numbers, then make changes. You can make this monthly ritual simple. Keep a log near your breakfast table. Put a calendar reminder on your phone. Label your meter. Make it part of your routine, like brushing your teeth or taking your vitamins. And celebrate the months when your numbers hold steady. That's not luck, that's control. Let's talk goals too. If you're non-diabetic, you want that fasting number under 100. Between 100 to 125 is prediabetes. Over 126? That's where the red flags rise. If you already have diabetes, your target range is something you and your doctor decide together. But for most older adults, staying around 90 to 130 fasting is a healthy aim. Of course, this isn't just about blood. It's about how sugar affects your brain too. Studies show that poorly managed blood sugar is tied to faster cognitive decline. Yes, diabetes doesn't just hit your body, it affects memory, mood, and decision-making. A brain fog that seems like just old age could actually be blood sugar in disguise. One more thing, medications. Many seniors take multiple prescriptions, and some can influence how your body handles sugar. Steroids, certain blood pressure drugs, even antidepressants. So if you're noticing changes in your readings or symptoms, don't just adjust food, talk to your doctor about the full picture. Monitoring your sugar isn't about fear or restriction. It's about awareness. It's about preserving your independence, your eyesight, your memory, your comfort. All those things that make daily life feel like your life. So tomorrow morning, take 5 minutes. Wash your hands, take a deep breath. Prick your finger gently, read the number, write it down. Listen to your body's quiet message. You don't need to overhaul your life. You just need to be present with what's really going on. You are not fragile, you are in control. And one number once a month can help keep it that way. You reach for the railing as you ease yourself down the porch steps, and for a second your knee doesn't feel quite right. Not pain, just a hint of wobble, a sense that the joint isn't as strong as it used to be. Maybe you laugh it off, chalk it up to a chill in the morning air or yesterday's gardening. But here's the truth. That little wobble could be a whisper from your bones, telling you they're growing weaker, thinner, more fragile. And that whisper is one you cannot afford to ignore. After 75, your bones aren't just aging, they're becoming more vulnerable. Osteoporosis, arthritis, joint degeneration, and even muscle loss, sarcopenia, work quietly in the background. You may not feel them coming, but one bad fall, one sudden fracture, and life changes fast. A broken hip can lead to months in rehab, or worse, a permanent loss of mobility. But here's the good news. You can monitor, you can strengthen, and you can take back control. Your skeleton isn't static. It's living tissue, always rebuilding. But after 75, the balance tips. You lose bone faster than you build it, especially if you're a woman or if you've had a small frame your whole life. Calcium absorption slows. Vitamin D levels may drop. Muscles that used to support your frame begin to shrink without regular use. This is why every month you need to do a full body check-in, not just for pain, but for stability, strength, and subtle warning signs. Here's how you start. Once a month, take a few quiet minutes in the morning to do a stability test. Stand with your feet together near a sturdy chair or counter. Close your eyes for just a moment. How steady do you feel? Do your ankles wobble? Do your hips shift? Now lift one foot slightly off the ground for 5 seconds. Can you balance without gripping something? These aren't just games, they're signals. If your balance is getting worse, your muscles and joints may be weakening. And weak bones plus poor balance? That's a fall waiting to happen. Next, test your strength. Sit in a sturdy chair, feet flat. Cross your arms over your chest. Now stand up and sit down 5 times without using your hands. Can you do it smoothly? Or does it feel shaky, slow? If it does, your legs may be losing strength. That's not just a fitness issue, it's a safety one. Let's not forget posture. Monthly, take a look in the mirror. Are your shoulders rounding forward more than usual? Is your back curved even slightly? That subtle stoop can be the first visible sign of spinal compression fractures due to osteoporosis. These tiny breaks don't always hurt, but they slowly shorten you, curve you, and weaken your core. And they're preventable. So what else can you check monthly? Joint comfort. Make a note of any swelling in your knees, stiffness in your hips, or grinding in your shoulders. Arthritis doesn't always scream. It creeps in. A monthly journal with simple notes like knee stiff this morning or grip felt weak opening the jar can reveal patterns over time. Those patterns help you intervene early with physical therapy, better shoes, supplements, or exercises tailored for your needs. Nutrition also plays a role here. After 75, you need more calcium and vitamin D, not just from food, but sometimes from supplements. But how do you know if you're getting enough? If you're prone to cramps, brittle nails, or muscle twitches, those might be signs your bones and muscles are lacking support. Once a month, look at your food choices. Are you getting dairy or fortified foods? Are you spending time in the sun or taking a D3 supplement? Simple questions with big consequences. Let me tell you about Linda, 79. She hadn't fallen, hadn't had any serious issues, but she started logging her mobility once a month. One day she noticed she could no longer rise from a chair without using her hands. That's odd, she thought. The next month, her balance test felt harder. She brought it up with her doctor. A scan revealed early osteoporosis. She got on a strengthening program right away, and today she's stronger than she was 5 years ago. All because she listened to a small signal. Let's be honest, falls are the #1 cause of injury in older adults, but they're not random. They come from a mix of brittle bones, weak muscles, poor balance, and environmental risks. You can't control everything, but you can tip the scale in your favor with monthly self-checks. One more thing, don't forget your hands. Grip strength is more important than people realize. A weak grip doesn't just make jars harder, it's linked to overall muscle strength, independence, and even heart health. Once a month, test it. Squeeze a soft ball, open a tight lid. Hold a grocery bag in one hand. Is it getting easier or harder? Mobility is freedom. Strength is independence. Monitoring your bones and joints every month isn't about bracing for disaster. It's about building confidence. Knowing that your body, though aging, is still reliable. And if something's changing, you'll be ready. You don't need a fancy gym or special tools. You need a chair, a mirror, and a few quiet minutes to check in with your body. Write down what you notice. Celebrate what stays strong. Adjust what feels weak. And remember, it's never too late to rebuild. So this month, don't just check your heart or sugar. Check the bones that hold you up. Stand tall, feel your balance, notice your strength, then promise yourself you'll keep moving, keep stretching, and keep noticing. Because your body, even now, wants to serve you well. All it asks is your attention. You're walking to the kitchen just like every other day. But today, halfway there, you need to pause. Not from pain, but from something else. A heaviness in your chest. A shortness of breath that seems just a bit stronger than before. You rest, catch your breath, and keep going. You tell yourself it's nothing. Maybe the air is stuffy, maybe you're just tired. But deep down, there's a little voice that wonders, is this normal? After 75, the lungs and the entire respiratory system don't work quite like they used to. They've weathered decades of breathing in dust, pollution, even illness. Your diaphragm is weaker, your airways a bit stiffer, and that means one of the most vital systems in your body, your ability to breathe, is vulnerable in ways you may not notice until it becomes urgent. This is why monthly monitoring of your breathing, your oxygen levels, and your stamina is not just smart, it's life-saving. Start by noticing your breath at rest. Sit quietly in your favorite chair. Breathe in deeply through your nose, then out through your mouth. Does your chest rise evenly? Does the breath feel smooth? Or do you feel tightness, shallow pulls, or the need to cough? Once a month, tune in deeply. You'll be amazed what you notice when you pay attention. Next, do a gentle breathing check. Walk slowly across the room, maybe to the front door and back. Are you winded more than usual? Do you need longer to recover? That extra minute of panting that didn't happen last month? That's your body whispering that something's changed. Now take a simple tool, an inexpensive pulse oximeter. You clip it on your finger. Within seconds, it shows your oxygen saturation. Ideally, it reads 95% or above. But if it dips below 92% consistently, even when you feel okay, it's time to talk to your doctor. Low oxygen doesn't always feel like gasping. Sometimes it feels like fatigue, fogginess, or a heaviness you can't quite explain. You may not have any known lung disease, but aging alone increases the risk of issues like COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, pulmonary fibrosis, and even silent pneumonia. These can creep in quietly through chronic inflammation, past infections, or even a lifetime of secondhand smoke exposure. That's why monitoring now, not when you're already coughing in bed, makes all the difference. And if you've had COVID-19 in the past few years, even a mild case, your lungs may still be healing. The virus left many older adults with lingering breathlessness and reduced lung function. Monthly breath checks help you track recovery or catch setbacks before they become hospital visits. Pay attention at night too. Are you waking up coughing? Do you sleep flat or need more pillows now? That shift in sleeping position can signal fluid buildup or declining lung function. Snoring more than usual? It might not just be annoying. It could be sleep apnea, where your breath stops and starts without you knowing. This isn't just about sleep quality. It's about oxygen supply to your heart and brain. One monthly habit that can make a huge difference: chest expansion. Wrap a soft tape measure around your chest just under your armpits. Breathe in deeply and note the number. Breathe out and note it again. The difference, how much your lungs expand, is your lung flexibility. Over time, this number should stay steady. If the gap shrinks, your lung capacity might be declining. That's your cue to take action. Let me tell you about Mr. Tran, 84. He was active, still tending his small garden every morning, but he started noticing a need to pause more often. No pain, just shorter breath. His daughter gave him a pulse oximeter. It showed 89% one morning. They went to the doctor. Turns out he had early-stage pulmonary fibrosis, something that could have gone unnoticed until a crisis. Now he's on medication, does daily breathing exercises, and is still tending his garden, just with longer rests and more awareness. Speaking of exercises, you don't need a therapist or a machine to strengthen your lungs. Monthly, set aside 10 minutes for breathing stretches. Try pursed lip breathing. Inhale through your nose for 2 seconds, then exhale slowly through pursed lips for 4 seconds. This helps clear airways, calm breathing, and increase oxygen exchange. Over time, you'll notice deeper, more efficient breaths. Also try balloon breathing. Hold your hands on your belly. Inhale so your stomach rises, then exhale completely. Do 5 rounds. It trains your diaphragm, the muscle that does most of the work when you breathe. Nutrition matters here too. Your lungs love foods rich in antioxidants, berries, leafy greens, olive oil. They fight inflammation. So does staying hydrated. Dry airways are cranky airways. And if you're still smoking, even just 1 or 2 a day, now is the time to stop. You already know this, but maybe hearing it today reminds you why. Another tip: take your temperature once a month, even when you're well. A persistent low-grade fever can be the only early sign of a lung infection or inflammation. Same goes for a weight drop without explanation. That can point to breathing issues or an underlying condition. And don't forget your voice. Is it getting hoarser? Do you cough when drinking water? These might seem unrelated to your lungs, but they often point to declining respiratory coordination or weakened throat muscles. Things worth checking. If you use an inhaler, use it regularly, not just when it's bad, and track how often you need it. If you're reaching for it more than twice a week, that's a red flag. So here's your monthly lung check. Sit quietly and assess your breath. Walk across the room and notice recovery. Use a pulse oximeter. Test chest expansion. Record nighttime breathing patterns. Try 5 minutes of breathing exercises. It may seem small, but each of these steps builds awareness. Awareness builds action, and action protects your freedom. The freedom to walk to the park, climb a step, sleep peacefully through the night. Breathing is the most constant thing you do, and yet it's the one thing we rarely stop to notice until it's gone. But you're noticing now. You're choosing to stay connected to this vital part of yourself. Breathe deep, Breathe fully, and breathe with gratitude that you still can. You're halfway through telling a story, one you've told many times before, and suddenly the word you're looking for slips away. It's right there on the edge of your tongue, but it won't come. A name, a place, a simple detail. You pause, laugh it off, and move on. We all forget things, but somewhere in the back of your mind you ask yourself quietly, is this just age or something more? After 75, memory changes. That's a given. You might misplace your keys more often, take a little longer to recall a name, or blank out for a second when you walk into a room. That's normal. But when those slips become more frequent, when your mood starts to shift without cause, when daily tasks begin to feel confusing or overwhelming, that's when it's time to take a closer look. And not in fear, but in care. Your mind is not just memory. It's personality, independence, relationships, and joy. Protecting it means noticing the small changes early and giving your brain the same attention you give your heart, your lungs, your bones. That's why monthly mental check-ins are essential, not just for catching cognitive decline, but for nurturing mental clarity and emotional wellness. Start with one simple ritual, reflection. Once a month, find a quiet space, maybe at your kitchen table with a cup of tea. Ask yourself 5 questions and write down the answers. Have I felt more confused this month? Have I forgotten appointments or conversations more than usual? Have I felt more anxious, irritable, or withdrawn? Have I had trouble following instructions or making simple choices? Have I lost interest in things I used to enjoy? You don't need a diagnosis to take these questions seriously. They aren't meant to label you. They're meant to ground you, to help you notice what might otherwise pass as just getting older. Because subtle changes in cognition, mood, or behavior are often the first clues that something deeper is shifting. Take memory, for example. Normal forgetfulness might mean losing your keys, but eventually finding them. Early cognitive decline might mean finding them and not remembering why you needed them, or forgetting familiar routes while driving, or struggling to follow a recipe you've used for years. Monthly, try simple memory games. Say 5 random words: apple, train, sunset, chair, mirror. Then do something else for 5 minutes. Come back and see if you remember them. If this becomes consistently difficult, it's worth noting. Not panicking, just noting. Now let's talk about mood. After 75, it's common to feel moments of sadness, especially with the loss of friends or changes in physical ability. But persistent depression or anxiety isn't normal aging. It's a medical issue. If you felt a cloud hanging over your days for weeks, or lost interest in favorite pastimes, don't dismiss it as just a rough patch. Mental health matters just as much at 75 as it did at 25. And here's something most people don't realize. Depression and early dementia often look similar. Both can cause forgetfulness, confusion, lack of focus. That's why monthly emotional check-ins are crucial. Write down how your mood has been, how well you've been sleeping, whether you've felt joy or laughter. Share those notes with someone close or bring them to your doctor. It could make all the difference. Sleep, too, is a major player here. Poor sleep affects your memory, your focus, even your heart. Are you waking more often during the night? Struggling to fall asleep? Do you feel alert in the morning or groggy for hours? Once a month, track your sleep patterns for a few nights. If things are shifting, if you're waking disoriented or needing naps every afternoon, this could be tied to cognitive changes or underlying health issues. Nutrition and hydration play silent roles in mental sharpness. Dehydration, especially in seniors, often mimics confusion. 1 cup less per day than you need, and suddenly your mind feels foggy. Likewise, vitamin B12 deficiency, a common issue with age, can mimic dementia. So once a month, review your eating. Are you getting enough leafy greens, whole grains, lean protein? Are you drinking enough water? Sometimes the answer to "why do I feel off" is as simple as nutrition. Let me tell you about Anna, 80, who started forgetting appointments and losing her sense of direction. Her family feared the worst. But after a thorough checkup, it turned out her confusion was due to a mix of low B12, dehydration, and poor sleep from undiagnosed sleep apnea. With a few changes, her clarity returned. It wasn't Alzheimer's. It was her body crying out for balance. And because she paid attention monthly, she caught it in time. Now, if you already have a diagnosis, like mild cognitive impairment or early-stage dementia, monthly tracking becomes even more vital. You'll want to log what's staying the same, what's getting harder, and how you're adapting. This gives your care team better insight. It gives you more control. Simple monthly activities like doing a crossword, journaling, or telling a story from your past help keep the brain engaged. Try doing something new every month. A recipe you've never cooked, a phone call to a friend you haven't spoken to in a while, a walk on a different path. Novelty builds new neural pathways, and that's brain gold. And don't underestimate the power of connection. Loneliness isn't just sad, it's damaging. Monthly check-in with your social health. Have you had meaningful conversations? Felt heard? Felt seen? Isolation can cause depression and accelerate cognitive decline. So if you've spent the past week alone, let this be your reminder. Pick up the phone, invite someone over, ask for a ride to the community center. You're not a burden. You're a soul worth knowing. Technology can help too. There are memory apps, brain game subscriptions, even voice notes on your phone where you can log thoughts and feelings. If writing isn't your thing, speak your reflections aloud and record them. The point isn't how you do it, it's that you do it. So here's your monthly mind check. Reflect honestly on mood, memory, and focus. Try a basic recall exercise. Note sleep quality and emotional patterns. Stay hydrated and review your nutrition. Seek connection, variety, and stimulation. You are not your forgetfulness. You are not your diagnosis. You are a whole person with a lifetime of memories, wisdom, and stories. Protecting your mind isn't about holding on to everything perfectly. It's about staying present, curious, and gentle with yourself. And if things change, if the fog starts to thicken, you will have already laid the path to get help early. You won't be caught off guard. That is strength. That is dignity. Take a deep breath. Let your thoughts wander. Smile at the moments you remember. And know that even in forgetfulness, your life holds meaning. So now we slow down. The sun is a little lower in the sky, the room a little quieter. You've walked through 5 quiet doorways of your body, your heart, your sugar, your bones, your breath, your mind. Each one matters. Each one holds the key to your independence, your safety, your peace. Let your shoulders drop. Let your breath ease. There's no need to remember every word we've shared. The point was never perfection. The point was awareness, a gentle habit of monthly check-ins, a quiet cup of tea, and a conversation with your body. You're not racing time. You're walking alongside it, listening to what your body tells you. You've earned that stillness. You've earned the right to care for yourself as deeply and consistently as you once cared for others. It doesn't have to be hard. A few minutes, once a month, a journal note, a breath test, a heartbeat count, a memory game. These aren't chores. They're acts of kindness to your future self. If you notice something unusual, don't panic. Don't feel defeated. Just reach out, speak up, get checked. The earlier you notice, the easier the fix. This is your season of wisdom, not worry. You are not fragile, you are aware. Close your eyes just for a moment. Picture your heart beating strong, your breath flowing steady, your steps balanced, your mind clear. That's your goal. That's your power. And in all of this, never forget, you are not alone. You are seen. You are needed. You are still becoming.